From News Channel 11, we're breaking into our network program to bring you live news coverage from Kingsport, Tennessee. You are looking live from Bays Mountain at Eastman, where, according to the company, around 10 o'clock this morning, there's what they were now continuing to call a process upset in their coal gasification area of their Kingsport manufacturing site. Good afternoon, I'm Josh Smith. We're continuing to bring you updates on this story, not only on WJHL.com, but as updates do come in, we're going live here on the air. Thanks so much for your patience if you're tuning in for regular programming. This has been an important event for the city of Kingsport. Many of you have called us and said you heard the explosion, you heard the explosions, and you've seen the smoke. And then some of you are responding to this video that we captured this morning of what appears to be an explosion. The Eastman officials are saying it was in their coal gasification area. A lot of black smoke, a lot of white, what appears to be steam, sirens that have been going on all around the property. And after a couple of hours, Eastman finally released a statement saying that it was an upset in their processes at the coal gasification area. That's where they bring in coal and through a process turn it into different gases, which then are sold to clients. Now we have an update that just came in from Eastman just a few moments ago. I'm going to read it to you. It says Eastman has removed the precautionary shelter-in-place advisory for its corporate campus. So people on Eastman corporate property were told to shelter in place. The company is now confirming that. They've now lifted that. And also for the surrounding community. Earlier in the morning or in the afternoon, Eastman told people who live nearby to turn off their HVAC systems and close their windows. They didn't say exactly how far of a radius. The update now coming in, they're saying they have lifted that precautionary shelter in place except for those within now a half-mile radius of the intersection of John B. Dennis and Moreland Drive. So where John B. and Moreland meet, if you are within a half-mile radius of that, Eastman is continuing to say you should precautionarily shelter in place. And earlier they said you need to close your windows and turn off your HVAC system. The shelter-in-place advisory, continue to read here, was issued in an abundance of caution in response to a process upset in the coal gasification area of its Kingsport manufacturing site. Eastman continued to say no injuries have been reported, so that's some great news. No reports of anybody hurt. You saw that video a moment ago. That's really good news. Glad to hear that. The incident was reported to the proper regulatory authorities. I should mention, as a side, we've reached out to TDEC and have not yet heard back from them, the Tennessee Department of Environment and Conservation. Eastman says it expects an assessment by 3 o'clock on whether the localized shelter in place, that half-mile radius from John B. to Moreland, will be lifted. And Eastman said it will continue to share additional details as they become available. Our Curtis McLeod was very close to the Eastman property when law enforcement told him prior to noon that he needed to move away to get what they called to a safe area. Curtis, where are you now and what are you seeing?
Well, Josh, right now we are at the intersection of Otari and Moreland Drive, not too far from Eastman Chemicals. And this road here, Moreland Drive, was just closed as we came onto this cut-in, and now it has reopened. Traffic is actually moving down Moreland Drive now. It was a little bit of confusion here. People were being turned around and had to find other routes, but I can tell you now that traffic is moving here on Moreland Drive. And this was not the situation we ran into just about maybe 15, 20 minutes ago when all of these roads near Eastman were pretty much shut down and you couldn't even get in, and some people had even trouble trying to get out if they were. Of course, like you said, Josh, that shelter in place is still in place for people that are closer to the Eastman campus. But right now where we are seeing that those road closed signs are being taken away. Of course, we're going to stay out here and continue to update you as we get more information, and we're going to continue to reach out to Eastman and get more details. Josh, we'll send it back to you in the studio.
All right, Curtis, thanks so much. And that's an important point. Kingsport police have told us, first off, that they're not saying anything. Everything's going through Eastman. But they did confirm that some of the roads, specifically John B., right there near Moreland, Lincoln, those streets near the plant have been impacted. So Curtis now updating us to let us know that the roads are opening up a bit. There has been an impact on schools as well. Kingsport City Schools said all across their district, they told students, teachers, staff to stay in the building. And according to the schools, they shut down HVAC system. Sullivan County School Director Evelyn Rafalowski told News Channel 11 that Sullivan County schools in the vicinity of Eastman have also ordered a shelter in place as a precaution, we should say, and they've shut down an HVAC system. So the headline coming to you this afternoon is the shelter in place advisory, which came from Eastman, has been modified. Not lifted, modified. It still is in effect for people who are in a 1/2 mile radius of the intersection of John B. Dennis and Moreland Drive. So if you're in that area, what they're saying you should do is stay in your home, turn off your HVAC system, shut your windows. No indication right now that there has been some sort of a gas emission or some sort of a vapor release, to use the terms that Eastman uses and has used in the past. Nothing like that from the company. Nothing to indicate there's any health risk imminent to people who are around. The company says, though, as a precaution, because of that event we captured live on our camera on Base Mountain earlier this morning, an explosion that apparently initially happened at 10, and then according to witnesses, a series of some other explosions that happened later on. This was closer to 11 o'clock when this video was taken, we believe. There was what the company calls a process upset in its coal gasification area. One moment, please.
Kingsport City schools are back to normal.
Okay, we just got an update. Thank you very much. Our Kingsport City schools have now lifted that shelter in place. So that's fantastic news. Things getting back to normal. That's from Andy True, spokesperson for the city of Kingsport. They had done that district-wide. We expect likely then Sullivan County would follow suit. If you're a parent and you're tuning in, you're probably wondering if there's been an impact on your kids, because there's some schools very close to Eastman. It does appear that that school impact, that response has been lifted. As an aside, I'll let you know that surrounding counties have been contacting us. At least one we know have contacted us asking what's going on, because this was an explosion that was not just heard in Kingsport. It was heard as far away as Mount Carmel, Churchill, Weber City, and the director of the Hawkins County EMA contacted News Channel 11 asking us what needs to be said to their folks. And so that's the latest from them. We're going to continue with more information online and here on the air. Eastman modifying its update to the public, saying, yes, if you are in a 1/2 mile radius of John B. Dennis and Moreland Drive, you need to stay within your homes, HVAC off, and shelter in place as a precaution. That's going to wrap up our live coverage. If information does come in, we'll update it on WJHL.com and break into programming here on News Channel 11.